I think we must start. Namaste, madam.
Yes. Hello, everyone.
Welcome to you, madam.
Thank you, sir.
Razak, sir.
Yes, sir.
I
Hello,
think-
everyone.
I think we must start.
Yes, sir. Hello, everyone. Wish you all a happy Ganesh Chaturthi. Good evening, respected dignitaries, all the participants, and my fellow colleague. I am Dr. Abdul Razak from Computer Science and Engineering Department, Anjuman College of Engineering and Technology, Nagpur, and the co-coordinator of this 1 week AICT Atal online FDP. I welcome you all in our FDP. We are about to start our 5th expert session. Before that, I take a moment to introduce our expert speaker of this session, Dr. Pooja Jain. A very warm welcome, Dr. Pooja Jain, madam. Hope
Thank
you
you,
have
sir.
joined the session. Welcome, madam. Madam is going to deliver session on natural language processing. Dr. Pooja Jain, madam, is a dynamic personality, having both industrial as well as academic experience. She had worked with reputed companies like IBM India Private Limited from 2005 to 2007 and with CSC India Private Limited from 2007 to 2009. As an academician, she was associated with JUIT Solan, Himachal Pradesh from 2009 to 2015 and with Indian Institute of Information Technology, IIT Kota from 2005 to 2018. Now she has been working with IIT Nagpur, that is Indian Institute of Information Technology Nagpur, since 2018. Now, without any more delay, I request Pooja madam to take over the session. Over to you, Pooja madam. Thank you.
Thank you.
Pooja
Thank
madam.
you so much, Abdul sir, Khatib sir. Thank you for the welcome. And I am happy to be a part of this workshop. And thank you for giving me this opportunity to have an interaction with all the participants here. So just to add on to what Razak sir has already mentioned, I have actually completed a project with DRDO and I'm currently working with a project with MHA, Ministry of Home Affairs, on natural language processing. So that is why I told, because natural language processing is my research area and my forte. And I would love to give session on NLP today. So today's topic is natural language processing. So basically, what is natural language processing? We'll talk about that. And then I'll take you through some of the research problems that you can take up as your PhD work or your research work or paper publication, etc., etc. Because there are a lot of open research areas with NLP, and it is gaining importance, and you can say a stress on NLP is gaining at a very, very large space with the invent of ChatGPT and the large language models. So what I'll do is I'll take you through the journey of natural language processing, and then I'll give you a little bit of introduction to LLM also, large language models, because that is the talk of the day nowadays. So basically, let me start sharing my screen. Okay. So basically, if you talk about natural language processing, is there are two very important words here. First is natural, which means any language that comes naturally to you. Okay, na? So the language with which we are born is known as natural language. It's not English. It's anything with which you are born. Like suppose I belong to Prayagraj. I am a UPN. So for me, my natural language is Hindi. So if I am able to speak to the computer in my language, then that is natural language processing. So basically, the concept behind NLP is making the humans talk to the computer in their own language. So you must have seen this many number of times that this is AI, and we say this is machine learning, and then we have deep learning inside it. So NLP is actually something like here. It's not that KNLP cannot be done without machine learning, but since machine learning has given us a leverage of processing huge amounts of data, so that is why NLP uses the algorithms, the methods, the protocols of machine learning and deep learning. Correct. So basically, NLP deals with processing the natural language in the best possible way. And when I say I want to speak to the computer in my natural language, Hindi, so then I should tell the computer the grammar behind it. Now, just take for you as an example, from class 1 to class 12th, we study English, of course, and we study one of our languages. Like, suppose I have studied Hindi for 12 years. So even if Hindi is our natural language, but still we have studied it for 12 years. And what we have studied in this? Nothing but how to speak Hindi, how to write Hindi, and what are the grammatical syntaxes to speak or write. So we took 12 years to study a language with which we were comfortable, of course. Like if you ask me to speak Hindi, it would be very comfortable for me as compared to English. Because when I speak English, then there is some process of conversion which goes inside the brain. Because I think in Hindi only. I cannot think in English. So whatever I think needs to be converted to English, then only I can speak in front of you. Correct. So we have been trained for 12 years to understand the grammatical concepts and the ambiguities in the language. Similarly, I want to teach the same thing to the computer. Correct. So when we do the processing of natural language, so basically my task is to make the computer understand my language. And whenever you talk about a computer, so like suppose this is my computer, and whatever I give the input to it in Python, C, C++, in any of the languages, it gets converted to zeros and ones because this is the language which computer understands. Similarly, if I say I want to speak to the computer in English or Hindi, so if I'm giving Hindi as an input, that also needs to be converted to zeros and ones. So you must all be aware that there is something which is known as compiler, which converts my Python code to zeros and ones, my C++ code to zeros and ones. And there are various steps which are involved in a compiler. So the same thing goes with Hindi as well. If I want to speak to the computer in Hindi, if I want to communicate, I won't say speak, it can be speech or text, anything. If I want to communicate with the computer in Hindi, then I need a compiler for that as well, which will convert my Hindi into zeros and ones. Correct. So whatever the steps which are involved in a normal compiler, which converts a programming language to zeros and ones, the same set of steps are involved in converting Hindi to zeros and ones. So these are various applications of AI, and here is what NLP is. This is where NLP lies. Taken, so we have speech to text, text to so whenever we are talking about NLP, there are two things: text and speech. So it can be text to speech, speech to text, speech to speech. Text to text, I have a text, I want to do the summarization of it. This is a text to text application. Recommendation systems, these are all text to text. Text to speech, I have something and I am reading it. This is text to speech. So I want a reading agent for it. Then speech to text, that is transcription, that I just saw in Google Meet. It is transcribing it also. So whatever I'm saying gets converted into text, and the computer should be intelligent enough to understand what I'm trying to say and convert it into text. Speech to speech, that is I'm saying something and the other person is translating it. Like suppose if I say in English and there is someone who is translating it to Hindi for you, that is speech to speech. So whatever you do in NLP, it is always either text or speech. It can be text to text, text to speech, speech to text, and speech to speech. In all these applications, you would be using the processes of natural language processing. So you have sentiment analysis, information extraction, question answering. So these are all different applications of NLP. So basically my dream is so that I can communicate with the computer in my language. But language is complex, ambiguous, flexible, and subtle. So let's see a little thing that how it is ambiguous. The ambiguity. So that is what the basic NLP challenge. And these ambiguities actually relate to the different research areas that we have, because these are all open research areas. Maybe you can say that some part of it has been resolved only for English. For English, a lot of research has been done, which is able to resolve some of the ambiguities, but of course not for other languages. If you talk about the computer can understand everything in Marathi, no, not at all. So there are various stages of language processing, and all those who are from computer science background can very well relate these three phases with the compiler. So we, as I mentioned, the compiler is used to convert my programming language to zeros and ones. Similarly, I want to convert my natural language to zeros and ones. So the same set of steps would be used. Apart from that, there are 3 or 4 extra steps which are required, because when I talk about speech, then phonetics come into picture. Now, a small child of class 3 of years, 3 years or 4 years is taught phonetics. That is, A says B says b. So if the pronunciation is like bat, so it becomes very clear that it has to start with B. So that is what phonology is. So if humans are taught, the same computer needs to be taught. So whenever somebody asks you what is NLP, so it's basically whatever we have learned throughout our schooling. The same thing I want to make the computer also learn. We started with phonetics, the computer will also start with phonetics. Then morphology is basically the different forms of the same word. Again, remember, you had that one sheet in which it was written past tense, present tense, and the future tense. And then you were taught that, okay, cry, cried, and crying. Yeah, cry, crying, cried, or walk, walking, walked, walks. So this is nothing but morphology. Morphology is basically having different forms. ये वहीं से आया है polymorphism से. In OOPS we have polymorphism. So this is also the same thing, morph, having different forms. So a word can have different forms depending upon the grammatical thing or depending upon the usage of that word in the sentence. So depending upon the grammar, I may use walk or may use walks, walked, walking, etc., etc. Okay. And the rest of the 3 are the same as we do have lexical analysis, which takes out all the words from the text and it tries to understand these words. Then syntactic analysis is to find out whether the syntax is correct or not, and this actually leads to the grammar part. So whenever we were studying Hindi or English throughout our schooling, there was always 2 subjects: Hindi literature, Hindi grammar; English literature, English grammar. Okay, so English grammar actually taught us the syntax. And if you remember, there was a book known as Wren and Martin. I'm not sure how many of you have read it, Wren and Martin. So it was like a Bible of English grammar. So Renan Martin was a very nice book for grammar, and we used to study it from class 3 or 4 till class 12, because it told us the different grammatical constructs like pronoun, conjunctions, and nouns, adverbs, etc., etc. And it also told us the you can say exceptions there. Like you must have heard that song, no? Nee, there is a there is one dialogue by Amitabh Bachchan in Namak Halal, in which he is trying to learn English, and he said, "Ki why go is not pronounced as goo when we say do, then why not goo? Why do we say it as go?" Similarly, when I say gun, and gun is gun, and then sometimes we say dune. So we are changing the pronunciations as per the words. And there are so many ambiguities in English, and you must have also experienced this throughout your schooling. Why it is happening? Like when I say text to speech, then there is a very challenge which says pneumonia. Now, pneumonia starts with P, correct? But if I'm going from text to speech, and he doesn't, and someone who doesn't know that pneumonia starts from P, so it will definitely read it as P pneumonia, like this. Another very common example is Kannaulat again. If a person doesn't know the correct pronunciation of knowledge, so it will definitely pronounce it as Kannaulat again. You know, if I'm going from text to speech, it is written somewhere and you are reading it, text to speech. So these are some of the challenges of an adult, and computer is going to just talk about the introduction to NLP as of now. Clear? Any doubts still here? Happy Ganesh Chaturthi to all of you. And being a Jain also is very important for today. From tomorrow onwards, our fasts are also starting. We call it as Paryushan. So lots of celebrations and lots of cultural celebrations in this period. Okay, so if everything is clear, I'll proceed. Okay, so as I mentioned, these are some of the things. Semantic analysis actually deals with the meaning of the sentence. Now, this is very, very critical because there are so many you can say challenges in this. We'll talk about those challenges in the future slides, and pragmatics and discourse. So let's take one by one. If suppose in the processing of the speech, phonetics means what you hear. So there we the same pronunciation with two different spellings is homophones. That is, you pronounce it the same way, but the spellings are different. Break, bear, bear. But how is the computer going to understand that? That is important. And we have studied it for 12 years. Now I don't have that much of time to make the computer also study for 12 years and then able to understand the things. So what we do is we tell him the context, because we also are able to identify which break I am talking about only if the context is clear. See, we have, can we have a break now? So this is BREAK. You very well know this. Can we have a break now? Correct? And so, and also break has two different meanings. BREAK. One is the break that I go break now. I want a interval here. Correct? So from the context of the sentence, or you can say from the neighboring words. From the neighboring words. Now, what is the meaning of neighboring words? When I say don't touch it, don't touch it, it will break. It will break. So this break was associated with touching, with don't. So from this it was able to identify कि हम तोड़ने की बात कर रहे हैं. So what are the neighboring words? Don't touch it, and we don't consider it to be as proper words. We call them soft words because these are the words which are required. Phones हैं. Okay, so I was talking about this. So which break I'm talking about will depend upon the neighboring words. What are the words before and after? Correct? Then in Hindi, it's very tough to understand कि कब छोटी ई की मात्रा और कब बड़ी ई की मात्रा लगे. So matras are very, very important to understand. Like उसने ये कहा कि वो आएगा, ठीक है ना. तो की कौन सा वाला की है, ये है कि की है, ठीक है ना. किराना, किराना में छोटी ई की मात्रा है कि बड़ी ई की मात्रा है. I'd had a tough time to understand this, and I'm sure all those who are from UP belt, they or from the Hindi belt, they must be also suffering the same thing to understand kaun si matra hai. So when I write this, then also it is a problem. And when text, when there is speech to text, और हम हिंदी में बात कर रहे हैं और हम कंप्यूटर को बोल रहे हैं कि आप उसको हिंदी में लिखिए, so then that is Hindi transcription, and the computer needs to understand कि कौन सी मात्रा अब लगानी है. छोटा ऊ, बड़ा ऊ, छोटी ई, बड़ी ई. Tough time. Then another thing is आ जाएंगे, आ जाएंगे, आज आएंगे, आ जाएंगे. I'll come today, I will come. Correct? So there are two different meanings. So I got a plate. I got up late. I got a plate. Correct? Even humans sometimes say communication gap. ho gaya. Yeah, I was not able to understand what you were trying to say. So if humans can do such type of things, so then imagine how the computer is going to understand. And whenever a transcription is
Excuse me, madam.
happening, I'm saying,
Excuse me, madam.
uh, this is
Hello.
all disfluency. So again, these words do come
Hello. Excuse me.
when or there are.
Madam, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Madam, there is a delay from your side. Your voice and video is not clear. It is.
Okay, so maybe I'll just switch off my video.
Yeah. Hope in this way it will work.
Yes. Probably, yeah. Now it will work actually. Whenever the video is on, no, then there is always a lag.
Okay. Continue, ma'am, please.
Okay, just let me start sharing the screen.
Yes, yes. Take your time.
I hope the screen is visible.
Yeah, ma'am, it's visible.
Okay. So I was just talking about क्या बोल रहा था हम तो भूल गए. What I was talking about. Boys. S, yes. I was talking about adding a S to all the words to give a plural form. So word, words, root, roots. But then we were told कि नहीं अगर last में Y आ रहा है तो then when you want to make it a plural, make it IES. Correct? But then there was again an exception in toys. In toys, we don't add a IES. We simply say TOYS. Correct? But in most of the cases, we remove a Y and they say IES, like cries. So we don't say CRYS. We say CRIES in the verb. And the nouns also, there are many nouns in which we don't add a S at the last, but we add a IES. Correct? So different forms of the word, but then there again are lots of exceptions. Up in Hindi, when we are talking to the elders, तो आप खाइए, आप खाओ, तुम, आप, तू. So there are so many variations of you, but in English there is only you. For आप, तू, तुम, it is only you. But in Hindi there are so many options. Correct? So these are all different challenges of NLP. So friend, we add a ly to make it an adverb and say friendly. In most of the cases, ly is there, but sometimes ly doesn't work. So like in this, childs is not a word. Yesterday only I saw someone saying that women's, WEMENS. This is wrong word. This is a wrong word because woman itself is a plural. You need not add the S at the last. Correct? So these are all different forms of different challenges that you need to tackle. Then the lexical analysis, what we do is, we first of all, we take out the different words of the sentence. So like, for example, I have a sentence as I am going to the market. ठीक है ना? So the lexical analysis says कि take out all the words from this. Extract all the words from this. In Hindi and English, it is easy because we do have white spaces in between. So either it is a space or an enter or a comma or something like that. So in Hindi and English, it is easy to get the words, bifurcate the words. But if you talk about Chinese or German, then lexical analysis is a big, big problem. So I'm going to the market. It will retrieve all the words. And then there is a task of, just give me a second, I'll just close all this. And then I need to understand the word in each and all the words of the sentence. I have Mr. R there. So when I'm retrieving all the words, then it will check whether these words are dictionary words or not. And then it will say, this is wrong and this is wrong. So remember, when you are writing something in the word, I simply say, I am go to the market. I will.
What is now?
Yeah. Can you please mute the mic? Yes. So this red line means spelling correction. So as soon as I click on this, it will tell me the possible options. So by looking at the complete sentence, it will say that, okay, market is the best word that can be there. So I'll put it over here. Then TNE, it will give me the possible options. Ten, tune, tone, time, the. This is done at the time of lexical analysis. It will check for the spelling corrections, and it will also give you the list of the candidate words. So these words that were appearing are known as candidate words. So it will not tell you the grammatical mistake. See, here it is giving you a blue line. So blue line says ki go is a correct dictionary word. Go is present there, but the MS Word thinks that there is some grammatical mistake here. Go nahi hona chahiye tha, going hona chahiye tha. Correct? So there is a grammatical mistake here which the word thinks, and that is why it gives you a blue line. And if there is a spelling mistake, it gives you a red line. So this is what lexical analysis is all about. So it will tell you that this is a noun. Tiger is a noun. It takes S as in plural. It's an animal. It's four-legged, carnivorous, etc., etc. So there is a very important library which is known as WordNet, which contains these words in this format. So lexical ambiguity, she bagged 2 silver medals. He made a silver speech. Now this silver is different from this silver, is different from this silver. This is known as POS tagging, parts of speech tagging. Remember when you were small, you were given a word and then you were told that use this word as a noun, use this word as an adjective, or use this word as a noun and use this word as a verb. Like suppose if I say book, can you use this word noun and verb? All of you, can anybody of you tell me? Book being used as a noun and a verb. I booked my tickets. Okay. Reading a book. Very good. So reading a book, book is used as a noun. I booked my tickets. Booked is verb. Yeah. Book a flight for me. Again, book is used as a verb. So you have used such types of things in your schooling days. He used a particular word as a noun, as an adjective, as a verb. But for the computer to understand this is a big, big problem. Ab yahan pe silver is used as an adjective. Here it is used as an adjective. Here it is used as an adverb because it is before a verb. And here it is used as a verb. Silvered his hair. Correct? So lexical ambiguity needs to understand this parts of speech, and parts of speech is actually you will get one level of part of speech at lexical analysis, and the final part of the speech is given after semantic analysis, once you have understood the meaning of the sentence. So this is what I was talking about. Now, syntactic ambiguity means ki you have the correct syntax, but still the meaning of the sentence is not clear. Like, for example, this is a very, I love this example actually. Call me a cab. Now, it's not that your name is cab. Call me a cab means I'm calling you by the name of cab. No, it's not. I cannot call you by the name cab. Call me a cab means I want to order a taxi for you. Correct? A cab for you. So call me a cab. So this is ambiguity. I am not able to understand what you were trying to say. The man saw the girl with the telescope. Now this telescope can be with the girl or the man. The man had the telescope and he was watching the girl, or the man saw the girl and the girl was having the telescope at that time. The professor said on Monday he would give an exam. Now, who is giving the exam? The professor or the students? And old men and women were taken to safe locations. So, old men and all the women, or old men and old women were taken to safe locations? Not able to understand exactly what you are trying to say. Correct? So in such cases, syntactic ambiguity actually means that the syntax is correct, but there is a problem. How you are going to tackle the problem? So these are all research problems which you can take up as your, you can say, research work for writing a new paper and so on. Semantic ambiguity. The car hit the pole while it was moving. Now, from this sentence, it is very clear that the car is moving because we have that common sense. But what about the computer? The computer will say that the pole is moving or the car is moving. Seema loves her mother and Shreya does too. So Shreya loves Seema's mother or her own mother. Isn't it? So these are ambiguities. And it's not that only English has it. हिंदी में भी होती हैं वैसे ही. हिंदी में भी बहुत सारी ambiguities होती हैं. रुको मत जाने दो. रोको मत जाने दो. रोको मत जाने दो. है ना? तो कहाँ पे आपने कॉमा लगाया? रोको मत जाने दो, या फिर रोको मत कॉमा, कहाँ पे आप ब्रेक लगा रहे हो उस पर फर्क पड़ेगा. जाने दो. जस्ट ऑपोजिट हैं दोनों. बोथ आर ऑपोजिट सेंटेंसेस. है ना? But it all depends where you are putting the comma. So the soul died. Now soul can be a fish or it can be a shoe part. Both have the same spelling. And if you're talking about a speech, then soul can be this also, SOUL. तो फिर आप उसमें आध्यात्मिक में जा सकते हो कि सोल कभी मरती नहीं है, the soul died, the soul dies, and so on. So it always depends upon the context that you are referring to. ठीक है? No, so if you want to understand the like, let me show you a very uh, interesting one, in which it says keep the context matters. When you, I had some fishes in my okay, let me take a different example. Like I would say, the car was moving at a very high speed, and then it hit the pole while it was moving. So from the context, you can identify that okay, the car was moving and not the pole. Correct? Then discourse. Now the horse ran up the hill. It was very steep. It soon got. So there are two it's here. And both the it's are referring to two different things. Here it is referring to the hill. And here it is referring to the horse. Correct? So in pronouns, it is referring to two different things. And you need to identify what is referring to whom. Of course, hill cannot get tired. But again, that's common sense. Computer doesn't have that common sense. Take enough. For you, it is easy to understand. But what about the computer? And trust me, थोड़ा बहुत काम तो हुआ है lexical, syntactic and semantic में, but no work has been done in discourse and pragmatics. No work has been done in these two fields, not even in English. Pragmatic says common sense, complete common sense. Just go through this once. Go through the slide. Correct. So this was common sense. Ki the waiter is going up, then he should bring the slippers down. The stand. तो आप अक्सर ऐसा बोलते हैं, अरे यार बुद्धि नहीं है क्या, या दिमाग नहीं लगाया क्या. So many a times it happens with your kids. कि they और मेरे साथ तो हमेशा ही होता है, और in fact it is there with all the mothers. That the kid is never able to find out the thing. You ask him to bring a box of sugar or the box of salt, and he would say कहाँ है, मिल नहीं रहा है. So it's like that. तुम्हें इतना नहीं समझ आता, या तुम्हें इतना नहीं मिल रहा है. This is all pragmatic ambiguity. So actually, syntactically, semantically, it is not wrong. It is just common sense. And we often call it as common sense is not very common. Correct? So I love this. If you say he rushed to the bank. Now in this case, bank can be anything. It can be a river bank, it can be a financial bank. But if I say John was hot and desperate for a dunk in the river, he rushed to the bank. It's very clear that I'm talking about a river bank. This is known as reference to context. Remember again, in you used to have that ye kisne kisse kab kaha. Who and what was the reference alag tha. The reference. But to understand this reference to context, we need to have, so these are You need to identify from the call recording, from the calls, that whether it is suspicious recording, why not a computer can do it, and from the recording some keywords are NLP and the different parts of the Boolean analysis or named entity recognition. Named entity recognition means ki if says Pooja, here is a complete word as one city and then the other. Correct? So these are all different, but not for English, mainly because English has already been a good researched area. Sentence chaining in Tamil, like this. Summarization in Bengali. So in such types, you will not find any good research work already there. Even in English, you have Siri and Alexa, and both do fail many number of times when you talk to them. बहुत बार होता है कि आप उससे कुछ कहना चाहते हो और उसे समझ नहीं आता. So this is all problems of NLP. So now let me take you through a little bit of introduction to LLM, and I'll also show you a hands-on on NLP, that how NLP is actually implemented. So you have AI, ML, deep learning. This is these three I showed you at the very beginning. And LLM lies inside deep learning. So this is LLM, large language models. So this is, you can say, an extension of the NLP work. The major task of NLP is to make the computer understand your language. So we do this with the help of something which is known as language modeling. Remember, in maths, we used to create models like what is the model of this, or we say that, okay, you find out this complete thing of a model. Basically, figuring out how a sentence is framed. That is known as language modeling. So you will have now there are certain rules that you have. Like suppose if I say I an is a wrong sentence. I is followed by am. Then I is followed by have. You do not have has. You say she has or he has, but I never say I has. We always say I have. Okay, so the two pronouns cannot be together until and unless we are saying slowly, slowly, like this. I know. So there are certain rules. So can we create a model out of it, which is able to understand the sentence and can come up with the meaning of the sentence? So language modeling is basically how Gen AI works is predict the next word in a sequence. So if you can predict the next sentence or word, then you can actually generate text. And when you generate text, actually you are generating the complete thing. Like suppose chat GPT. And letter to my authority for tomorrow's leave. Taken a simple. Correct? So if you write something like this, I kindly request your approval for a day's leave tomorrow due to this. I assure you that I will completely complete any pending task at the earliest. Suppose I copy it and do it again. See, the two letters are different. I would like to request a leave of absence for tomorrow. I kindly request your approval for a day's leave tomorrow. Both the answers are different. So what does it show? It shows that it is not copy pasting it from somewhere. It is not copy pasting. Some 15 years back, we used to talk about information retrieval. So information retrieval was actually retrieving the information from its databases. So you had huge amount of data with you, and then you are retrieving the information that you need from those databases. Okay, na? So like suppose I have thousands and thousands of documents, and then I ask a question related to those documents and you give the answer. That was something information retrieval. But this is not information retrieval. This is generating text. Generating text, because when you are generating it on a fly, you are doing it impromptu, then you are generating the things. And what exactly it is doing? It first writes I, then it writes would, I would. I would के बाद next word क्या होगा? Like. I would like के बाद क्या होगा? To. I would like to के बाद क्या होगा? I would like to request, and so on. So this is basically generating the next word. So actually it is what it is doing is predicting the next word in a sequence. Now suppose if I ask him to write a story on tortoise. Once upon a time in a green forest, there lived a slow but thoughtful tortoise. ठीक है? Write a story on tortoise. Again, I'm asking the same question. So this again would give you a different story. अब यहाँ पे tortoise का नाम गोलू आ गया है, यहाँ पे कुछ नहीं था ऐसा. So what I'm trying to show you is it is generating the text on a fly. And when it is generating the text, it is actually finding out the next word in the sequence. It is predicting the next word in the sequence. The cat likes to sleep in the bed, in the dark. It can be anything. And accordingly, you will generate the text. So can we frame this as a ML problem? Where it is a classification task, the cat likes to speak in the, it can be anything. And then you find out what is the probability of a bag, a box, ability, zebra, and so on. So if I say, well, why we have why we have 50,000 classes? We have 50,000 classes because there are 50,000 words. And the cat likes to sleep in the, there can be different options of the next word. There are 50,000 options of the next word, because there are 50,000 words that can come here. It can be a bag, it can be a box, it can be a zebra, it can be anything. And the box had the highest probability of 0.085. Maybe the bed has a probability of 0.09. So I'll choose bed. Got it? So what I'm trying to do is creating a model of the language. And this model is basically trying to generate the text. So the cat likes to sleep in the, and what can be the possible options for it? It will choose that option which is of the highest probability. So I'll have a neural network in between. So what is LLM, large language model? It's nothing but a neural network with the language modeling. So what are LLMs basically? Which are trained using deep learning techniques. So these deep learning techniques are nothing but the neural networks on massive amounts of data, huge amount of data. More the data, better it is. Now, suppose if I am supposed to give you a lecture on NLP, and yesterday only I studied NLP, I won't be able to give you a lecture for an hour. To give a lecture for an hour, I should at least study for 7 to 8 hours. Then only I can give you a lecture for an hour. So until and unless I have massive amount of data, I will not be able to give you any lecture for an hour. In fact, you teachers also do the same thing. To give a lecture of an hour, you at least study for 3 to 4 hours. And that is what happens. And that is why we have a load of 16 hours or 17 hours a week, because for those 16 hours of lectures, we need to spend 16 into 3 hours. At least I have to study for 3 hours to deliver a lecture of 1 hour. Isn't it? So the same thing goes with large language models. Until and unless it has massive amount of data at the back end, it cannot generate what you want. अभी हम लोग ने tortoise की 2 stories देखी. If it doesn't have that data at the back end, it will not be able to generate anything. So generate human-like test and performing the tasks of NLP. So what are the parameters? Representations, generalization across task, and contextual understanding. A contextual understanding is very important. So that is why from the very beginning, I'm talking about understanding the context, the semantics, correct? And we need to represent this text actually. So there is a very important concept of vector representation. Now what happens? We have discussed that computer understands only zeros and ones. So if I have to write INTI as we do it in C, C++, so integer I is represented as this N T space I and then the semicolon. So this complete thing corresponds to this. है ना, दिख रहा है ना? ठीक है. Isn't it? So this is a representation of INTI. Similarly, as I mentioned, if I want to make the computer understand my language, if suppose I am saying I am going to the market, yeah, suppose I am going likha, so I needs to be represented in zeros and ones form, am zeros and ones form, and going in zeros and ones form. तो लेकिन एम जब रिप्रेजेंट करेंगे तो ए का अलग होगा, एम का अलग होगा, जी का अलग, ओ का अलग, आई का अलग, एन का अलग और जी का अलग. So if I'm going to represent each and every character separately, it would be very tough for the computer to combine all those characters to form one word. And most importantly, even if I have made one word, how it is going to understand the relationship between am and going. So for this, what we do is we represent each and every word in the form of a vector. And these vectors are chosen in such a way, these vectors are chosen and the size of this vector is 255. And this vector is chosen, so we do it like this, minus 21, 20, 20, 2, 1, 0, 1, 3, 4, 3. So it will have 255 values, which will represent I. Am would be represented by another chosen in such. See, like this. Yep. So word to vec is one of the algorithms to do it. And it will represent these words as in man and woman will have a similar vector. Sir and madam will have a similar vector. King and queen will have a similar vector. And sir and king also will have some relationship as in both are males. Sir and man also will have some relationship as in both are males. Strong, stronger will have a similar vector. Clear, clearer will have a similar vector, and so on. Okay. So this is known as word embedding. So we give it a vector, and this vector would be chosen in such a way so as to have the similar words having similar vector. So let me show you a vector like this. So dog would be represented in this manner, cat would be represented in this manner, and all these vectors would have some relationship in between because all these are animals. So they will have similar vectors. So we do the vector representations in order to understand the contextual relationship. That is, we say improved representations. So a lot of emphasis is given to choose this type of representation. How we are able to represent the text in such a way so that we can understand the meaning of the sentence. Correct? So the input to the neural network is a sequence of words. The outcome is simply the next word. Again, this is just a classification task. The only difference is that instead of only 2 or few classes, it has 50,000 classes. Because it has to choose from 50,000 words, which word would be the most appropriate one. So it has a huge training data, massive training data. The cat the cat likes to sleep, and the cat likes to sleep in the box, bed, क्या होगा जो भी. So every time it is trying to give you the next word. We can generate text by predicting one word at a time. So there are different models to do it. We had LSTM as a machine learning model, CNN as a neural network, RNN, another network, recurrent neural network, and now transformers have come into picture. The basic difference between transformers and the rest of the models is it has attention mechanism. Attention mechanism says in the complete sentence, there are certain words which needs to have more attention. Like suppose if I say, tomorrow there would be no class. या ऐसे इस तरीके से इसको बोलें कि अगर आप स्टूडेंट्स को जाके बोलते हैं कि it's Ganesh Chaturthi today, and today I have brought Ganesh ji at my home, and we want to have blessings of him and for next 10 days, and due to a lots of puja there won't be any class tomorrow, and then I would be doing a puja day after tomorrow, etc., etc. So the students will concentrate only the middle sentence, which won't be any class tomorrow. They are not concerned about the rest of the things ki you brought Ganpati at home, or you are doing puja of Ganpati, or you are doing this, that, etc., etc. They don't care all this. What is most important is there won't be any class tomorrow. So as humans also do it. Now, 67, the sentence. So Jain is just try experiencing diary. Give an image of a keyboard. Yeah, donkey with a keyboard on his head. Of course, it will not find it on the World Wide Web. It will not get such an image of a donkey with a keyboard on his head. This image will not be found anywhere. So it is actually generating an image. Generating means first it will create an image of a donkey, then it will create an image of a keyboard, and then it will have the keyboard on the head of the donkey. So it is actually creating that image. So Gen AI is just generating the things and generating image, text, or video. If it is generating the text, then it is NLP, natural language processing, because generation of text and audio can only be done after going through all the phases of NLP. If you have to work on text or speech, you cannot avoid NLP. It has to be there. Okay? So RNN, CNN are the different neural network models which are used. Let me show you a little bit of implementation also. We don't have that much of time to do it together. Okay, let me show you word2vec. As I discussed, which converts it into a vector form, converts the words to a vector form. So we'll have the stop words library, wordlet lematizer. I told you now that there is a library known as wordnet. So this is a wordnet lematizer. इमेज नहीं आई अभी, बहुत स्लो चल रहा है सिस्टम. Okay, so I'll just include that text file. I'll share the code with you. So this is the file which contains data. And we have used corpus. From the corpus, we have included stop words as a library, which contains all the stop words, as I mentioned, the, and, on. These are all stop words, which just used a lot. And they don't have a special meaning of their own, and they are used only to have the correct grammar. Then we have word lematizer. ये बार बार लोग आ रहे हैं जा रहे हैं, उसी की है ना ये? Yes, sound. Is it like for predicting the next word? It has to do understand the content. Yes, Anjuman College ne pucha question. So yes, when we are predicting the next word, we are actually understanding the context, and then only it is possible. Correct. So as and when we are predicting the next word, that means we have understood the rest of the words which are already there. Okay, so this is my data. So I'll remove the stop words, do the tokenization. As I mentioned, what is a tokenization? Taking out the words. And yes. So this is my processed text. ये एग्जीक्यूट नहीं हुआ है क्या? Hmm. So we have converted everything to, this is a processed text in which I'm applying this function. This function is first converting it into a lowercase, then doing the tokenization. Tokenization means taking out all the words of the sentence. Then it is checking whether it is an alphabet or not. And if it is an alphabet and not in stop words, then it will have all the words together. So it is returning the words. So this is my processed text. This is my vocabulary. So vocabulary is actually the list of all the words. This is all, these are all the words. Facts is a word, legislation is a word, alleviate, fine, Rajasthan, split. And see, we have converted everything to lowercase. We converted everything to lowercase, and then, so how many words are there? It consists of 358 words. And then it will find out those words which have common vectors. So it is basically trying to find out what is the relationship between the two words. So India and country has a very good relationship between them. India occupies, country India, country occupies, country greater. So these are those words which have similar vectors. We talked about now every word is represented in the form of a vector. So it is taking out all those such types of words which have similar vector. And this is how a vector is there. So this is the vector for India. See? This is how India is represented by the computer. And this will actually contain such numbers, and this will relate to USA, Pakistan, Bangladesh, because these are all countries. India will have a relationship with country. India will have a relationship with the word Indian, and so on. So WV is basically word to vec, and I'm using this model of word to vec. So there are two ways to do it, either word to vec or glove, and this is what I was trying to show you. Remember I showed you this, yeah, vector representation. So this, if you do the coding, that Calcutta and separator together. Now this is quite hodgepodge. This I have taken only few words to show, and first 100 words. These were 339 words, 358, and these are only 100 words, which is easy to understand. So all these words are close together. Delhi and political देखो पास में है, political and literature पास में है, and ये आपको जो पास में दिख रहा है ये 2D में दिख रहा है, but this is not two-dimensional, it is multi-dimensional. The vector is multi-dimensional. See, this is the vector. It is multi-dimensional. तो वो जो पास में दिख रहा है वो actually बहुत पास में नहीं है. It's not close to each other. It looks as if it is close, but this is a 2D, two-dimensional. But the vector is a multi-dimensional thing. Okay? So once this is done, then understanding the meaning of the sentence becomes very easy, because you can understand the words which are close by, and from that you can identify the meaning of the sentence. Isn't that interesting? NLP is very, very interesting actually, because with NLP you can do a lot of things. It's very interesting.
Yes, madam.
Questions?
Yes, participants, dear participants, you can ask your question if you have any queries. Time is available.
My next session is on 30th, in which it is NLP in healthcare. So what I'll do at that time is, the theory part is already over in this session. We have already discussed about the theoretical concepts.
Yeah, ma'am.
So on are the participants aware of Python?
I don't think all the participants are
Acha,
There
okay.
with Python, yes.
Because I thought I'll go for an implementation of a problem. I'll take a data set related to medical domain, healthcare, and I'll apply NLP on it.
But it would be helpful, madam. If all were not interested, might not be interested, but it would be helpful.
Yes, because I wanted to have a hands-on. Studying theory is not very interesting.
Yeah.
Actually, theory आप पढ़ते जा रहे हो, but until and unless you implement it and you actually do it yourself, you won't enjoy.
Yes, we want.
अच्छा, बिलाल सर बोल रहे हैं कि he doesn't know Python.
Yeah, few participants are from pharmacy also.
अच्छा, okay.
Yeah, from medical background also.
Okay. That is why.
Yeah.
But I hope today's session was easy to understand. Bilal sir, did you understand today's session? Because today was in simple English when I wanted to tell you that what exactly NLP is, what are the why NLP is required, and what all is covered in NLP. So was that clear? Okay, thank you.
So participants, if you have any question, please ask, or else we are terminating the session.
Thank you so much, Sadia ma'am. I've given my email ID also. If you have any questions, you can shoot a mail to me. And the code which I just show you word to vec, and also the slides, I'll share it with Abdul sir.
Yeah.
How does LLM like GPT or Llama differ fundamentally from earlier models like RNNs or LSTMs in terms of language understanding? Sayed sir, actually this GPT and Llama involves transformer models. So the transformer models has that attention mechanism firstly, and secondly, the representation of the words is different in this case. So that is why the meaning of the sentence, the contextual understanding is improved to a great extent. And RNN and LSTMs were actually machine learning models, which were not having that much of huge amount of data as what GPT and Llama is having, firstly. And secondly, the number of the parameters on which it is trained is huge in the case of Llama. It is billion parameters. That many number of parameters are not there in RNN and LSTM. No, we don't use any dictionary for tokenization. Tokenization is simply taking out the different words. Dictionary नहीं जरूरत होती. I think you are talking about library. Library पूछ रहे होगे आप. So tokenize is actually you can say the function inside NLTK library. So NLTK is the library that we import. And sentence tokenization and word tokenization are two functions which are there inside this library. Word underscore tokenize and sent underscore tokenize. See, this is word underscore tokenize. This is the function which is used. Oh, my screen was not shared. Oh, so sorry. I was showing the screen. Okay. यहाँ पे है ना ये word underscore tokenize. So this is a function which is used, which is inside the library NLTK. So NLTK is the library which is most important. And inside that we have lots of functions. So one is word tokenize, another one is sentence tokenize. And then we apply the different types of pre-processing on this and so on. Thank you, Abdul sir.
So thank you, madam. That was a wonderful and informative session. The participants might really have enjoyed the session. We from Anjuman express our gratitude to Dr. Pooja Jain, madam. And we are eager to hear your next session. Thank you
Sure.
so much.
Sure, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you. Thank you, Hina ma'am. Thank you for all the compliments.
All the participants, Our next session will start at 7:30. So we are taking 10 minutes break. After that, we will meet again at 7:30. Thank you, madam. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you all the participants.